All right, everyone. So you know how we're always talking about the future and what's coming next. Well, this time we've got a glimpse, like a real tangible glimpse into what researchers are cooking up right now in labs all across Europe.
Yeah, and this isn't some far-off sci-fi fantasy land. This is happening now.
Exactly. Our source got to spend a night at the Università di Catania in Italy for this thing called Sharper Night.
Basically, picture a giant science fair, but instead of baking soda volcanoes, you've got cutting-edge lasers, robots that could probably steal your job someday.
Okay, maybe not steal your job, but definitely robots that can do some pretty impressive things.
Right, you get the idea.
So our source sent over a ton of notes, and honestly, even I'm a little mind blown.
It's a lot to unpack for sure.
Let's dive in. So first up, robotics. Apparently, the Università di Catania, specifically their DIEI department, is becoming quite the hub for this stuff.
It's true, yeah, and our source was particularly impressed by the work being done by STMicroelectronics and the RoSys group.
Two names we should probably know.
If you're into the whole, future of technology thing, then yeah, probably.
All right, so give us the lowdown. What makes these two stand out?
Well, STMicroelectronics is a big deal in the world of semiconductors. They're like the tiny brains that power pretty much all our electronics these days. Phones, cars, you name it.
Okay, so them being involved in this whole thing in Catania says something.
It says they see serious potential there. And then you've got RoSys Group, and they're all about pushing the boundaries of robotics. Like, how can we make robots even more precise, more adaptable, more autonomous?
Which is both exciting and a little terrifying, right?
Depends on your perspective, I suppose. But yeah, it's definitely both.
So we've got powerful electronics and advanced robotics all coming together in Catania.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg. This event was all about showcasing a wide range of research, a lot of which you wouldn't necessarily think goes together. Like, our source got to measure some radiation.
Radiation?
Yeah.
Like the dangerous kind?
Not necessarily. It's all around us, actually.
Oh, right, like from the sun.
Exactly, but they went a bit further than that. They measured radiation from volcanic ash. Mount Etna, being nearby, provided some samples.
Makes sense. Volcanoes, radiation, all that good stuff.
But get this, they also got to measure radiation from some more, shall we say, unexpected sources.
Like what?
Uranium glassware, for instance.
Oh, like antique dishes and things.
Precisely. It was all the rage in the early 1900s because it kind of glows this eerie green in the right light.
That's both cool and kind of creepy.
It is, and a little unsettling because you can still buy this stuff online. Same goes for something called Thoriated tungsten, which was used in welding because it made the electrodes super durable.
So you could buy something on Amazon and accidentally give yourself a dose of radiation?
More or less, yeah.
That seems like a problem.
It raises all sorts of questions about responsibility and regulation, especially in the wild west of online marketplaces.
No kidding. So, from mildly radioactive antiques, let's jump to something a bit more high-tech. Our source mentioned Catania is getting a new laser.
Not just any laser, mind you. This is a terawatt laser.
Oh, what?
Terawatt with a T.
All right, so I'm assuming that's pretty powerful.
Imagine harnessing the energy of a star in a lab. That's the kind of power we're talking about.
Okay, so definitely not your average laser pointer.
Not unless you're trying to, say, alter the structure of matter.
That sounds a little intense.
It's powerful stuff with a lot of potential applications. Scientists can use terawatt lasers to study nuclear physics, create insanely detailed images of tiny objects, and even develop new cancer treatments.
Wow. It's incredible how technology is advancing.
And
speaking of advanced tech, they also mentioned a cyclotron, right? What exactly is that?
Oh, it's essentially a giant particle accelerator. It uses magnetic fields to spin charged particles like protons or ions around and around until they reach incredibly high speeds.
And why would you want to do that?
To smash those particles together, of course.
Sounds messy.
It's actually how we studied the fundamental building blocks of the universe. By smashing things together at super high speeds, we can see what they're made of, how they interact.
So Catania is going to have this terawatt laser A&D, a cyclotron.
It's going to be quite the hub for scientific discovery, that's for sure.
All this talk about particles and lasers makes my head spin a bit. Let's talk about something a little closer to home, like buildings.
Ah, yes. Our source was also impressed by a project called MUD-MADE, which caught their eye.
MUD-MADE. That doesn't sound very high-tech.
Don't let the name fool you. This project uses AI to design highly efficient 3D printed buildings using readily available materials like clay.
Okay, so it's about sustainable construction. That's cool.
It is. It just goes to show how this event really did cover a wide range of research, all connected by this thread of innovation and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
It's incredible. Our source didn't even get to see everything they missed the closing session on AI, robotics, and quantum technologies.
It does make you wonder, what will these brilliant minds come up with next? What new discoveries await us just around the corner?
It's exciting and a little overwhelming, to be honest. So for our listeners out there who, like us, are fascinated by the future, here's something to chew on. Of everything we discussed, lasers, robots, underwater neutrino detectors, AI-designed buildings, what do you think has the most potential to change our world?
It's a big question, but one worth considering.
Absolutely. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive.
Until next time.
See you then.